Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 6, chapter entitled The Killing of the Demon Putana. Texts for 39 and 40, they are together. So 39 I will chant, 40 we all will chant together. Payangsi yasam apibat putra snehasnutanyalam Bhagavan Devaki putra kaivalyadakila pradaha. So text 40, please repeat after me. Tasam aviratam Krishne kurvantinam sutaikshanam na punaha kalpate rajan samsaraha ajnana sambhavaha tasamaviratang Krishne kurvatinang sutekshanam napunah kalpate rajan sangsaro jnana sambhavaha. We'll read word by word for the entire both the verses. Payangsi, milk coming from the body. Yasam, of all of whom. Apibat, Lord Krishna drank. Putra snehasnutani, that milk coming from the bodies of the gopis, not artificially, but because of maternal affection. Alam, sufficiently. Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Devaki Putraha, who appeared as the son of Devaki. Kaivalya Adi, like liberation or merging into the Brahman effulgence. Akila Pradaha, the bestower of all similar blessings. Tasam, of all of them, of all the gopis. Aviratam, constantly. Krishna, unto Lord Krishna. Kurvatinam, making. Sutaikshanam, as a mother looks upon her child. Na, never. Punaha, again. Kalpate, can be imagined. Rajan, O king, Parikshit. Sangsaraha, the material bondage of birth and death. Ajnana sambhavaha, which is to be accepted by foolish persons, ignorantly trying to become happy. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Founder Acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Translation: the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is the bestower of many benedictions, including liberation, Kaivalya, or oneness with the Brahman effulgence. For that personality of Godhead, the gopis always felt maternal love, and Krishna sucked their breasts with full satisfaction. Therefore, because of their relationship as mother and son, although the gopis were engaged in various family activities, one should never think that they return to this material world after leaving their bodies. Purport: the advantage of Krishna consciousness is described herein. Krishna consciousness gradually develops on the transcendental platform. One may think of Krishna as the Supreme Personality, One may think of Krishna as the supreme master. One may think of Krishna as the supreme friend. One may think of Krishna as the supreme son. Or one may think of Krishna as the supreme conjugal lover. If one is connected with Krishna in any of these transcendental relationships, the course of one's material life is understood to have already ended. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, verse 9, Tyaktva dehang punarjanma naiti mam eti. For such devotees, going back home, back to Godhead is guaranteed. Na punaha kalpate rajan sangsaro ajnana sambhavaha. This verse also guarantees that devotees who constantly think of Krishna in a particular relationship will never return to this material world. In this material world of samsara, there are the same relationships. One thinks, here is my son, here is my wife, here is my lover, or here is my friend. But these relationships are temporary illusions. Ajnana sambhavaha. Such a consciousness awakens in ignorance. But when the same relationships awaken in Krishna consciousness, one's spiritual life is revived, and one is guaranteed to return home back to Godhead. Even though the gopis who are friends of Rohini and Mother Yashoda and who allowed their breasts to be sucked by Krishna were not directly Krishna's mothers, they all had the same chance as Rohini and Yashoda to go back to Godhead and act as Krishna's mothers-in-law, servants, and so on. The word samsara refers to attachment for one's body, home, husband, or wife and children. But although the gopis and all the other inhabitants of Vrindavana had the same affection and attachment for husband and home, their central affection was for Krishna in some transcendental relationship. And therefore, they were guaranteed to be promoted to Goloka Vrindavan. In the next life, to live with Krishna eternally in spiritual happiness. The easiest way to attain spiritual elevation, to be liberated from this material world and to go back home, back to Godhead, is recommended by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Krishnera samsara kari chadiya nachar. One should give up all sinful activities and remain in the family of Krishna. Then one's liberation is guaranteed. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikas Swami Nitinamine. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamine. Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So once again, just read the translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the bestower of many benedictions, including liberation, Kaivalya, or oneness with the Brahman effulgence. For that personality of Godhead, the gopis always felt maternal love, and Krishna sucked their breasts with full satisfaction. Therefore, because of their relationship as mother and son, although the gopis were engaged in various family activities, one should never think that they return to this material world after leaving their bodies. Hare Krishna. So now we are nearing the end of this very wonderful chapter, killing of demon Putana. So yeah, all the pastimes of Lord is wonderful and great, but especially these childhood pastimes, initially these beginning pastimes like killing of Putana, killing of Chakatashura, cart demon, and stealing butters, and even the Damodar Leela, these all took place in Gokul. And after that, Krishna, all the gopis, then afterwards they went to Vrindavan. So these all took place in Gokul, and Gokul also has a name called Mahavan. After that they went to Vrindavan. So this Mahavana, the name Mahavan, the name itself gives the meaning Mahavana, great Vana. So it is great for two reasons. One reason is it is greater in size, it's huge, therefore it's called Mahavana. And also it is great because all the Krishna's first pastimes took place here. So therefore this place is also called as Mahavana. And yeah, as I was saying, all the pastimes of Krishna compared to any other incarnations, any other forms of the Lord, pastimes of Krishna, they are even to see apparently also they are really great. Because when Lord comes in any other form to perform some mission, to perform some activity, what happens? Either he changes his form. Just like, for example, when Lord appeared as, we can take this Dasavatara Stotra, when Lord appeared as Matsya Avatar, we know Lord initially appeared in very small form. When Satyavata Muni, he holded his palms, and then when he took the water from the river, one small fish got caught. Then the fish said, "Oh, please, king, give me some shelter." Then he put it inside a water jug. Then immediately that fish started expanding in form, getting bigger in size. Then he thought, "Oh, this fish is growing." So he put inside a well. Then within few seconds, immediately again the form increased. Then he put it inside a lake. Even that lake was not sufficient. What to speak of lake? Next he put that fish inside the ocean, and the ocean was not sufficient. So we can see Lord is changing forms to perform some activity. Even in Kurma also we can see. During the churning of ocean, milk ocean, Lord had to appear as Kurma, and huge form he took to hold the Mandara mountain. So Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, he appeared as a small boar from the nostrils of Brahma, and then he grew up huge size. Narsimadev, if we take, he appeared in completely new form, half man, half lion. Vamana appeared as a small dwarf Brahmana and then took the gigantic form. So Lord is always either changing forms, or we can see to perform his pastimes, he uses so many help from so many other people, or he uses weapons. Just like same examples we can see when Varaha came to kill Hiranyaksha. Varaha simply lifted the earth with his tusk, but for killing Hiranyaksha he used his gada. And Rama, he used bow and arrow for killing. And Parashurama used Parasha Astra. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Ramaha, how that goes? Shastra Britamaham. Ramaha Shastra Britamaham. Of the wielders of weapons, I am Rama. And that Rama actually refers to Parashuram. So, every incarnations we can see either they are changing in form or using weapons to perform their mission or task or that goal. But Krishna, he never changes his form. He never uses any weapon. We can see here, even in this Putana Lila, or hereafter also we can see, in this Putana Lila, when the demon came, Krishna was as he was before. Small, cute, smiling, beautiful, charming baby. He didn't change his form. Putana had to change her form to approach Krishna, to kill him. To do her mission, she had to change her form. But Krishna did not. He remained in the same form. When Trinavrata came, that time also we can see. When he tried to carry Krishna, same form, he just increased the weight. He did not had to change the form. And same thing with the way how he killed also. He did not need to use any weapons. Normally, when we speak about, see, Lord is so powerful. Actually, for killing, he doesn't need any weapon. He doesn't need any help. Immediately, for our mind, the example comes as Narsimadev. We tell usually, every incarnation we can see Lord uses so many things. But when Lord came as Narsimadev to kill such a powerful Rakshasa Hiranyakashipu, he didn't need any weapon. Just simply by the tips of his fingernails, he killed. We glorify like that. But most of the time we forget how Krishna killed Putana. He didn't need even the fingernails. For killing Hiranyakashipu, when Narsimadev used his fingernails, in scriptures we can see, those fingernails are compared to chisels. So sharp. Because Hiranyakashipu's body was hard like a rock stone, so to kill that, Lord used his fingernails only, but those fingernails were so sharp. Daily we sing Namaste Narasimhaya Prahaladadayine Hiranyakashipur Vakshaha, to open the chest of Hiranyakashipu. Shila Tanka Naka Alaye. He used his fingernails, which were like Shila Tanka, chisels cutting the stone. But here, for killing Putana, Lord simply used his lips. And we know Lord's lips is not like chisel. Lord's lips is compared to very soft. Even in 12 days or 13-14 days, we are going to observe this Kartik Mas. Daily we will be singing. How that goes again? Rakta Bhimba. How that comes? Sorry? Idam te mukam boja. There comes. Muhushchum than rose petals. So Lord is just using that such a soft lips to kill Putana. That itself is enough for him. Because he is source of all the powers. He can manifest his power through anything. We say Angani asya sakalendriya vritti manti. Lord, simply by using his eyes, he can eat. Simply using his hands, he can walk. Anything he can do. Similarly, simply by using his lips, he kills such a ferocious demon Rakshasi, Putana. So great. And also not only the way of killing, after killing what he did with her, that is even much more amazing. Therefore, this pastime is considered to be great. That Mahavana Maha is given. The destination what he gave to a person who came glorifying the position of Krishna. So in this verse 35 and 36, we can see what Lord did. Putana loka balagatini rakshasi rudirashana jigam sayapi haraye stanam datvapa sadgatim. Sadgatim means, Prabhupada in the word by word translation, he says, the most elevated position of spiritual existence Lord gave to her. To whom? Who came to kill him. And not only she came to kill him, she came to kill him in motherly form. Right? Prabhupada says in one of the memories, we come to hear that, Prabhupada once said, the most cruel form of betrayal is you take someone on your lap, you pat them nicely and then you kill them. So this is the most cruel way. People, when they kill so many animals, we can see in their house, they what to say, even here nearby also we can see. People, they maintain so many small chicks, so many goats, but daily they feed them, daily they take care of them. Finally, when the day comes, kabe habe bolo, sedina amar. When the day comes for me, immediately they chop off. Throughout that, before that, daily they are feeding, taking care very nicely. But one day, when that animal is thinking, this is my shelter, but that day finally they chop off the animal, kill the animal. So this is the most cruel way of betraying someone. So this is what Putana is doing. Coming as a mother. Normally this mother's love we compare to be the topmost in this material world. So therefore we compare that love with love for Krishna. But therefore Putana, when she came, this is the cruelest way in which she can come to kill Krishna. But still what Krishna did, gave her, what was the word? Sadgatim, the topmost position he gave to her. Why? The reason is given in the word before. Stanam datva. Here, stanam datva. What is it? Stanam, her breast, datva, after offering. We know she actually came to offer the poison. But Acharya Shukadeva Goswami is saying here, Krishna knows that she came to offer poison, but Krishna didn't take that side. What Krishna did, Krishna always looks at the brighter side of someone. Though we may all have some bad qualities, always we are doing some wrong things, still Krishna is always trying to find out good things from us. So therefore here, Krishna just took the brighter side of Putana. We know this out of these 4 Char Dhams, we say Dwaraka, Puri, Rameshwaram, and Badrinath. So, among which Jagannath Puri, this is each dham is referred for every yuga, and especially Jagannath Puri is referred for this Kali Yuga, because in Jagannath Puri it is mentioned Lord is so merciful. We know Lord Jagannath, he does not have any eyelids, he always keeps his eye open. So Acharya says that Lord is always keeping eye open because he is saying, by the time when I close my eyes with my eyelids, I should not miss the brighter side of Kali Yuga people. Because their brighter side is only during those blinking time. Only that much they do some good activities. All other time they are doing bad activities. So Lord is always keeping his eye open. And here we see Krishna is also so merciful. He is just taking the brighter side from her. And immediately he is giving, just he takes that, see, she came as a mother, she wanted to offer me her breast. So what can I do? I have to give her something in return. So I will give her the supreme destination. So therefore then Shukadeva Goswami says in that verse, so if Krishna is giving to Putana that supreme destination, then we can see in the last 3 lines. What then is to be said of those who had natural devotion and affection for Krishna as mothers? What to speak of gopis? And in previous verse, he said, what to speak of the cows? Where is that? What then is to be said of the cows whose nipples Krishna sucked? So in these 2 verses, Shukadeva Goswami is saying about even to Putana Lord gave that much benediction, then what to speak of gopis and cows? And for giving answer, what Krishna gave, that is given in this verse. So all these 3 are therefore, I was saying, they are connected. So in this verse, he says, for that personality of Godhead, the gopis always felt maternal love and Krishna sucked their breasts with full satisfaction. This is one difference. When Krishna sucked the breast of Putana and when Krishna sucked the breasts of gopis and cows, this is a great difference. Therefore, Shukadeva Goswami here uses the word alam. Putra sneha snutan yalam. With full satisfaction, Lord drank. Full satisfaction, we heard this also before, that this full satisfaction is expressed by, for continuously for 1 year, when Brahma stolen the cows and when the calves and the gopas, so Krishna expanded into each and every, exactly replicating the form of each and every gopa, and not only the form, behavior, voice, everything. It is not just the form. When you look into detail, it's so amazing. Just the way of reciprocating. Every child doesn't cry in a similar fashion. Every child cries differently. When Duryodhana and Shishupala born, Mahabharata explains they were crying like asses. They were braying. Surely not these gopas. They all are eternal associates of Krishna. But I am just saying, even the crying, and what to speak of behaviors. Their way of walking, their way of dressing, their eyebrow color, eyes color, everything is different. And Krishna, exactly, without 0.1% of chance, he didn't give even that much negligence. So very precisely Krishna was, he expanded himself, not only to save his situation. One time when I was saying, when I was explaining this pastime to one person, then he said, okay, Krishna expanded, but the reason is because he went with all the calves and boys. If now they all are missing, then he will be in trouble. Therefore, to get out of the trouble situation, he expanded. Somewhere from these kind of reasons they get, don't know. So even if that is true, on the other hand, we see just for reciprocating with these gopis, for the reciprocation with the cows, because they all had strong maternal affection. Putra sneha snutanyalam. Prabhupada in the purport says, although these gopis, they were not like direct mothers of Krishna like Yashoda and Rohini, but still they had strong motherly affection. Not only the gopis, even the cows. So therefore Krishna accepted their reciprocation. So this is what expected. If we approach Krishna with right intention, then Krishna immediately with full satisfaction, alam, with full satisfaction, he takes our service. He is ready to accept. And yesterday's purport, Prabhupada was beginning the purport like this. It's very interesting. These verses explain how devotional service rendered to Supreme Personality of Godhead, whether directly or indirectly, knowingly or unknowingly, becomes successful. So here we see gopis and cows, they want to do directly service to Krishna. So therefore they are very eager. They are trying to do some service to Krishna. Prabhupada says even if someone does, indirectly, that also Krishna accepts with full satisfaction. Means Krishna accepts that. And Prabhupada is in one of the places, he explains what is that indirect service. Indirect service, Prabhupada gives example of offering a flower. Daily, with so many flowers, we are decorating Supreme Lord. We are making garlands, or even Pujari, when he does Arati, he offers flowers, so many ways. So we are actually offering only the flower, but the indirect offering is offering of the tree. So Prabhupada explains, when you offer a flower from a tree, Krishna does not simply sees the flower, he sees also the tree. From this tree, this flower came. This flower is doing direct service because of the devotee engaging in it, and the tree does indirectly service to Lord. Same thing we can see with gopis also, when they glorify Venu, when they glorify the flute, they glorify the bamboos also. They say flutes are always in constantly in touch with the lips of Krishna. But how fortunate their mothers, their parents, bamboos are. Though bamboos are still standing, the bamboo tree is still standing in the same river, but that also gets does indirect service to the Lord. So even knowingly, unknowingly, directly, indirectly, if one engages in service of the Lord, Lord accepts that. Not only directly to the Lord, even if one does service directly or indirectly to the holy name of the Lord, that also Lord accepts in the same way, with full satisfaction. Bhagavatam explains, Haridas Thakur, we can see in Chaitanya Charitamrita also comes. It is explained, when one chants the holy name of the Lord with full conviction, then immediately Lord surrenders himself. Lord gives one whatever benediction. Lord says, actually I am in debt to those who are always engaged in my service. I cannot repay them. So many reasons are given. One of such reason is because for them I am the only goal. For all the devotees, Lord is the only goal. But for Lord, all the devotees are goal. He has to take care of all the devotees. So he is saying, for you, I am the only single central point of attention. Prabhupada writes in that purport, in today's purport we saw, every devotee should keep Krishna as center point in our family. But for Krishna, he is saying, for me, all the devotees are central point. So I cannot individually repay. So therefore, I am always in debt to those who are directly engaged in my service with full attention, always. And even if one indirectly, unknowingly, as mentioned, Prabhupada is mentioning it, directly or indirectly, knowingly or unknowingly, even in such a way, if one approaches Lord through the holy name, then still he gets benefited. We see so many examples, like Ajamila. Ajamila called Narayana, but it was not directly, he was not calling directly Lord. He didn't know, he didn't think, I am calling Lord Narayana for the help. It was done unknowingly. So therefore it is Sankyetam Parihasyam va Stobam Helanam Evava Vaikunta Namagrahanam Asheshagra Harang Viduhu. Just either one may chant the holy name of the Lord unknowingly, indirectly, Sankyetam. Parihasyam, jokingly. Stobanam, some musical entertainment, or Helanam, even neglectfully. One gets rid of all sinful reactions, it is said. And Haridas Thakur in Chaitanya Charitamrita, he says, one simply by doing this, he gets even liberation. These 4 items are mentioned among Nama Abhas. These are not Nama Aparad, and at the same time, these are not Shuddha Nama also. These are mentioned among Nama Abhas. And when Haridas Thakur is explaining this among so many Panditas, that simply by Nama Abhas, one can get liberation, then they all say, how it is possible? This is exaggeration, you are exaggerating. And Haridas Thakur very nicely he gives example. See, it's true that Shuddhanama has full power, but Nama Abhas can give moksha. Because Shuddhanam gives more than moksha, it gives prema. Moksha is attainable even by Nama Abhas. And he gives beautiful example of sun rays. sunrise. During the night time, when there is no sun, when there is darkness, there is always fear. Fear of thieves, fear of ghosts, rogues, so many fear is there. And when there is full sunshine, there is no fear. Everybody does their daily activity. And Haridas Thakur says, in between the sunset and full sunrise, there is rising of sun. There is a period called rising of the sun. Just at that time, you don't see the sun, you just see the sun rays. Those sun rays are not enough to do your daily activities, but those sun rays are competent enough to remove the fear of these thieves and ghosts and all. So he says, similarly, Shuddha Nama gives one prema for Lord, but when that is chanted like the Sanketam, Parihasyam, Stobanam, Helanam, that is Nama Abhas, because there is no aparad. So that one is not Shuddha Nama also, but that is quite enough to give one liberation. One becomes successful. So indirectly, if he chants either Narayana, or even if he doesn't even chant directly the name, I forgot the term, how it is called, but even if the name of the Lord comes separately in two different words, that also Lord sees that as he is calling my name. Lord looks at that brighter side, as we were seeing before. Lord simply wants to look at the brighter side of someone, and then he wants to give the benefit of doubt to them. In cricket, they have this term, benefit of doubt. So maybe he may be chanting my name. Halam Riktva. Prabhupada uses that word, I think. Halam Riktva. In Halam Riktva, this word, if you see, the first word contains Ha, and the second word Riktva contains Ri. So Krishna thinks, actually he is chanting my name, Hari. In between, he is using some other letters, but actually he is chanting my name. Raja Mahishi. In that Raja Mahishi, the first syllables comes Ra, and in Mahishi, the first syllables comes is Ma. So Krishna says, actually he is chanting my name, Rama, and in between he is saying something else. So Lord is always looking at these kind of brighter sides. So therefore, here also we see, he looks at the brighter side of Putana, and he gave her the supreme destination. So Prabhupada writes, so like this, Putana, she came actually indirectly, but the gopis and cows, they actually they had this maternal love, that motherly affection they had. In this material world, every one of us have different relationships. Either we have relationship with someone as a son, or father, mother, here Prabhupada writes, lover, wife, husband, so many relationships we have. So you can use those relationships with Krishna. One may think of Krishna as the supreme personality. You may think him as a master in Dasya Rasa. Or one may think of Krishna as this, supreme personality as a Godhead. Or one may think of Krishna as the supreme master in Dasya Rasa. One may think of Krishna as the supreme friend in Sakya Rasa. One may think of Krishna as the supreme son in Madhurya Rasa. You have all these relationships in this material world, and you have someone in that center for that relationship. So why don't you rather make Krishna a center point in that relationship? Because all these relationships, as Prabhupada is saying very nicely, that where is that? In this material world of samsara, there are same relationships. One thinks, here is my son, here is my wife, here is my lover, or here is my friend. But these relationships are temporary illusions. Though we may have so many relationships, we may have so many friends. I have 1,000 friends in my Facebook account. I have this many relatives, so I have this many WhatsApp groups. So many things you may have. But all these are temporary illusions. They are not factual. They exist today, tomorrow they may not exist. Yesterday evening class we were discussing about this Ashwata. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 10th chapter that among all the trees I am Ashwata. I am the banyan tree. And in 15th chapter also we see that Krishna, when he describes the nature of this material world, he says, Urdhva Moolam Adashakam Ashwatam Prahuravyayam. This material world is compared to the upside down representation of a tree, a reflection of a tree, in which the roots are upward and the branches and the entire tree is downwards. Now, actually, for example, if we think, Krishna could have given any tree for example, right? Because Prabhupada says to see the reflection of a tree, if you want to see a tree with root upwards and the branches downwards, you can see in reflection of water. So there Krishna could have given any example. Any tree, if you look at in the reflection of the water, it will look upward down. But here we see, especially Krishna uses the word Ashwata. And Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur gives the explanation. Krishna's Prabhupada yesterday was mentioning. Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur gives the explanation of what is Ashwata. We generally know Ashwata means banyan tree family, that banyan tree family. But he gives the example, he gives the definition. He splits that word Ashwata into three terms. Shva, Ta. So he splits into three. He says Shva. Shva means in one meaning we have hog, but there is another meaning also called as stay. Tomorrow, sorry. Shva means tomorrow. And Shva, Ta. The third term is Ta. Ta comes from Sta. So Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur says Sta means staying. So Ashwata, if you remove the A, the remaining that word, Sva, Shva and Ta, if these two words you combine, the meaning is stay for tomorrow. Stay is tomorrow. But when you add the prefix A, it says not. The prefix A, if you add, it gives the opposite meaning. So Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur says, Ashwata means which doesn't stay till tomorrow, which doesn't exist for tomorrow, which is not fact, which is not actual, which is actually a temporary illusion. This is not going to stay forever. Whatever you do in this material world, the entire material world itself is Ashwata, then what to speak of the relationships within that material world? And he gives furthermore explanation that this Ashwata is both for devotees and also for non-devotees. For devotees, how it is Ashwata? Because the next day, the tomorrow, they are not going to be here. When they surrender to Lord, Lord will give them, just like how he gave to Putana and other gopis, he will give them the supreme destination. They will go away from this material world. They will reach the supreme destination. And for non-devotees also, this material world is Ashwata, because whatever they are hoping, this is mine, this house is mine, this job is mine, this money is mine, these relationships are mine, they are not going to stay for tomorrow. So, then why to have those illusory temporary relationships? Better we can have Krishna as our relation, proper relation. So why one goes after temporary illusory relationships? The reason was given in the last word of this verse. Ajnana sambhavaha. Because they are in ignorance. They don't know. They don't have any knowledge about Jiva, Ishvara, Prakriti, Kala, Karma, which Krishna elaborately discusses in Bhagavad Gita. They don't have any sambandha jnana. They don't know. They're completely in ignorance. So therefore, in such a ignorance, they always commit offenses to the Lord. They are not there for trying to satisfy Lord like how gopis were trying to satisfy here. But on the other hand, several times we see, if one, here Prabhupada, that also in one line he writes, just one thing. This verse also guarantees that devotees who constantly think of Krishna in a particular relationship will never return to this material world. So when devotees in any relationship, we were seeing, like one may think of Krishna as a son, one may think of Krishna as a lover, one may think of Krishna as a friend, one may think of Krishna as husband. So we saw all these. These all are called primary rasas, 5 primary rasas. And scriptures explain that there are 7 secondary rasas are also there, which are not actually anukulya. They are in an opposite way, with anger, with hate or envy. So with these things also, if one have relationship with Krishna, Bhagavatam explains, still with them also, Krishna sees the brighter side and benefits them. Bhagavatam, Narada Muni, he explains to Yudhishthira, when he was glorifying how fortunate they all were, because Krishna is always with them. At the time, Narada is saying to Yudhishthira that Gopyah kamad bhayad kangso dvesha chaidya nripaha sambandha vishnaya sneha yuyang bhaktya vayang viboho. He says, Krishna reciprocates with everyone according to their relationship. For example, you all are relatives of Krishna. So you treat him as your relative. Krishna is treating you also as a relative. He is reciprocating. But if someone approaches Krishna with enmity, from him also Krishna sees the brighter side and gives the benefit of doubt to him. That was therefore it is said. Prabhupada, so many places we can see this in lectures, he uses this first line. Gopiyah kamad bayad kamso. This so many times Prabhupada quoted in lectures. Gopis, they had their desires, lusty desires, but when they focused that desires on Krishna, that purified them. So even the enmity which Kamsa had for Krishna, normally we say one should not have enmity for Krishna, this is not proper, these all are pratikula. But still, when Kamsa had that enmity, it is explained he had such a absorption. He was so much absorbed in Krishna conscious. He was always thinking of Krishna. When the child will born, when Devaki will deliver, did he already born? When Kamsa was looking at the mirror, he didn't see his face. He was looking. He saw only Krishna. He was always afraid. He was thinking Vishnu will come somehow he will come. On the one hand, we see Prahalad, wherever he was seeing Vishnu. When the poison was given to him, added in the milk, when he was about to drink the milk, he saw Vishnu there. Acharyas give so many explanations. When Hiranyakashipu employed elephants to stample over Prahalad and kill, when the elephants came, Prahalad started praying to the elephant. See, what is this you are doing? Remember in your heart who is there? In your heart, my Supreme Lord is residing. And he only protected your great grandfather, Gajendra. So how can you do like this? So when the elephant came with such a ferocious nature, Prahalad could see only Lord in that elephant. And when snakes were allowed to bite him, that time he saw Ananta Sheshas. Means he again remembered the Lord. So devotees in that sense remembering, and these non-devotees even in their enmity, Kamsa was always remembering of Krishna. And then the next the verse goes, Chedya Dvaisha Dayonrapaha. Cheda, the Cheda king Shishupala, out of his envy, he was always envious of Krishna. Because of that enmity, he was always thinking of Krishna. Though ultimately Kamsa, Putana, Shishupal, they all were killed by Krishna, but still Krishna took the brighter side and then gave them liberation also. So now what shall we do? Shall we also, because we are trying so hard to develop love for Krishna, we are not able to develop that. So many years I am trying, Prabhu. So many years I am trying to chant the holy name. I am trying to develop pure love for Krishna, but all my attractions are for material things. So I think better I should take the second lane. This first highway is not working for me. Better let me take that. But for that, we have to be really sincere like Kamsa or Shishupala, which is again very difficult. And but there is a way also. Acharya has explained. See, it is understandable that one may not directly like how gopis had full flowing of motherly love, affection, that we may not have. We may be having at present in our devotional life, we may be having so much of kama, so much of krodha, so much of lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. But there is a way how to channel it towards Krishna. Srila Narottama Das Thakur very nicely he sings in his song. He says, how that goes? Kama Krishna karmarpane. If you have kama, if you have lust, if you have greed, not greed, if you have lust, then Krishna karmarpane, engage it in the activities for Krishna. If you have so much lust for accumulating money, I want this, I want this, I want this. If you are lusty after so many things, you do, Prabhupada says, you do hard work and that money you give to Krishna. Krishna karmarpane, for Krishna's activities you engage that. Krodha bhakta dveshi jane. If you have anger, don't show your anger like Shishupala or Kamsa. Rather, you show your anger like Hanuman and Arjuna. Krodha bhakta dveshi jane. When there are some dveshis of bhakta, those who criticize Lord, those who criticize devotees, for them you use your anger. Krodha bhakta dveshi jane. Lobha harikata. Lobha sadhu sange harikata. If you have so much greed, I want more, then you daily come for Bhagavatam class. You use your greed for that. Daily morning we are having class, daily evening we are having class. But unfortunately, most of the time hall is empty. We can say, Prabhu, we are busy, we have service, but these all are for given to us for increasing our greed towards Krishna. So Loba Sadhu Sange to associate with devotees and for hearing Harikatha. And then how goes? Moha. Next I think Kama, Krodha, Loba, Moha. Moha, Ishta Labha Vine. In case you should have that illusion, that you should feel illusioned when you are not able to attain Krishna. Just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he says, Yugayitam nimeshena chakshusha pravrushayitam. 1 second without Krishna, I feel like million yugas. So like that you should feel illusioned. If there are no any devotees, if there is no any satsanga, then we should feel like, for sure I am in illusion. Not only you feel, actually you are in illusion. If you don't have sadhu sangha, if you are not hearing, if you are not chanting. So in that way we should feel illusion. And Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada. Mada Krishna Guna Ghane. We should get mad, not mad after wine, woman or money, mad after Krishna Guna Ghane. By singing the holy name of the Lord, by speaking about the Lord, one should become mad. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he received this holy name from his spiritual master, he said, Hare, actually the message he received was Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Namaiva Kevalam, Kalau Nasteva, Nasteva, Nasteva Gatiranyata. There is no other way than chanting the holy name of the Lord, Hari. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started that method, and for him it worked because he did it with full attention, with full sincerity. He chanted. Then immediately what happened? Mada Krishna Gunagani. He became mad. He was jumping. Tears were coming. Hairs were standing on the end. So he went to his spiritual master. What is this? Something is happening. Is it right? I am chanting correctly or wrong? When we take some medicine, if some reaction comes, immediately we think, no, whether it took right or wrong. So then his spiritual master said, yes, this is what expected. So this will come. Even though at the beginning we may not have the intention, or we may not be in the platform of these gopis and cows, and unfortunately we may be exactly in the platform of Putana, that Putana also, no, she approached Krishna, but for her intentions. Similarly, we may be also be within this society practicing Krishna Bhakti, maybe preaching nicely, singing nicely, so many things, doing service tremendously. But at the end of the day, if we are expecting something in return for our personal thing, like how Putana was expecting something for her personal intention, if we are expecting also in a similar way, then that is not good. But we see, like just like how Lord saw brighter side from Putana, maybe he will also see brighter side from us. But as Shukadeva Goswami is comparing, if for Putana Lord can award this much, then why don't we strive to come to the platform of gopis and cows? Why we should get stuck in the platform of Putana? So if we elevate ourselves much more, then there is much more awaiting. Putana and all these demons, few got Sayujya Mukti, few got Sarupya Mukti, but nobody got positions like these gopis and cows. Because Acharyas, they explain for this example, see, Putana also got liberation, and here gopis and cows, it is explained, they didn't take birth again in samsara, in this material world. They also attained liberation. That means both of them attained the same. If you say same, then that looks like, okay, then whatever we do, Lord gives same destination. If you say, no, they both didn't attain same destination, then we will complain, see, Lord is partial. Lord is blessing someone, Lord is cursing someone. So they explain that actually Lord is blessing everyone, but according to their way of reciprocation. This we saw in the purport. To some, those who approach Lord in Dasya Rasa, Lord reciprocates as a supreme master. But above that, there is a relationship where Lord reciprocates with you as a friend. In Rasa Tattva, if you see from that point of vision, that is comparatively higher. And much more peace they attained as a mother. For jnanis and all, Lord gives them the mukti of attaining Brahma Jyoti. For devotees, he gives the liberation where they can associate with him, but very rare. Scripture says very rare. Lord gives someone himself as a son, because it is very rare. And furthermore, rarest thing is we know Lord himself giving him as a lover to someone. That is Madhurya Rasa, which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and explained to us. So there are so many wonderful things as Prabhupada is explaining. So to achieve all these things, we have to do only one thing. Krishnera samsara kari chadi anachar. One should give up all sinful activities which are externally, internally, subtly, whatever we do, and remain in the family of Krishna. We have to remain in the family of Krishna. If we remain in the family of Krishna, then one's liberation is guaranteed. And liberation here does not mean liberation like these demons. Rather, the topmost position Lord is ready to give, and actually to say Lord is ready to give himself. So if we can get that, then why don't we try for that? Hare Krishna. So these are some of the thoughts for this purport, and verse. If any questions, corrections, comments. So the previous purport also we saw, one can serve Lord directly or indirectly, knowingly. Question, sorry. The question is in the lecture you mentioned regarding one can serve Lord indirectly. So how that can be done? We saw in the previous purport also, Prabhupada begins the purport, the yesterday's verse, what we saw. Prabhupada says that this verse explains how devotional service rendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whether directly or indirectly, knowingly or unknowingly, becomes successful. So directly means directly one in different relationships. So indirectly, how is that, Prabhupada? How knowingly or unknowingly that is also done.
How does that refer to the non-devotees? In terms of, say, when we talk about Agata Sukriti, what's the difference between indirect, which is unknowing, and Agata Sukriti?
So what is here it said directly or indirectly, knowingly or unknowingly, and we have this term called Ajnata Sukriti. Ajnata Sukriti means without knowingly doing. So I think that's a Sanskrit term, and directly, indirectly and unknowingly, they are actually, if we see, they are interrelated also. Just by these examples we can try to understand that. One, as I was mentioning, Prabhupada himself in one of the lectures, he gives this example for what is the indirect way of serving Lord, and he gave this example of a tree. So we are offering Lord flowers. So these flowers are directly engaged in the service of the Lord. They are next to the Lord, they are in the altar, they are engaged directly in the service. But the tree which produces that flower, that tree is somewhere else, staying there only, it is there. But Lord thinks that from this tree only that flower came, so Lord gives that tree also benefit. So this is indirect way of doing, Prabhupada directly said for this.
So indirect devotional service and Agata Sukriti are the same?
Yeah. And
so if when we're approaching people on the street or when we're going out on Sankirtan, chanting the holy names, they're getting benefit.
Yes.
And one day they'll come to the point where they'll begin or step on the path of devotional service. So that's indirect.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Indirectly, we ask people, we are generally it is said, how that goes, prana artha dhiya vacha. So one should engage his prana, life, in the service of the Lord, which is directly. if he is not able to engage that, because many of the people in the outside world, they are engaging, they are giving their life for sense gratification. So what we do, because they are not able to give their prana, at least your artha or diya or something, we take from them for the service of the Lord, and then we use. Sometimes knowingly they give, okay, I will do it as a service for building temple, you take this, or for this service you take Janmashtami time. But several times, even unknowingly, also when we get something from them, when we utilize it in the service of the Lord, they get Ajnata Sukriti. And unknowingly also we can say, Prabhupada many times mentioned this also, that small children, when they come with the parents, they offer their obeisances to Lord, knowing that this is Supreme Lord, we are worshipping in the deity form. If we offer our obeisances, we will get benefited. They know that, but the small children, even though they may not know, but just because my father is doing, I will also do my obeisances, and he also gets the benefit. And from Purana we see this another example of a rat. When the rat came inside altar to eat the giviks, it was about actually for eating the giviks it came, but unknowingly by its tail it pushed the giviks, and then the lamp started shining more brightly. So as how Lord is always most merciful person, he took the brighter side from the rat. He thought that this is doing devotional service, and gave the rat benefit of doubt. Means actually he gave his mercy. And so there are so many ways, unknowingly and indirectly. Another thing, as I was mentioning, the Sanketam Parihasyam. When we go in Harinam Kirtan, people jokingly, indirectly, mockingly, they chant the holy name of the Lord. Krishna, Krishna, Rama, Rama. Chaitanya Charitamrita, we see when the devotees were doing this Harinam, so many complaints went to the Nawab. And Nawab sent one of his constable to stop the Harinam. So this constable goes to them, and then he is asking, what is this nonsense you are chanting? Daily Hari, Hari, Hari. Hari means what? Hari means one who steals. Hari means chore. So daily you are chanting chore, 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 thief, 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 thief. This is what you are chanting. Nonsense. You stop this. So he was kind of mocking them. He was scolding them. But surprisingly, what happened? Because he engaged in devotional service indirectly, unknowingly, by chanting the holy name of the Lord, when he went back, by the time he actually became a devotee, he couldn't stop chanting the names of Hari. When he went back to the Nawab was asking him what happened. He replied, Hari, 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 Hari. Did you meet them? Hari, 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 Hari. Did you stop them? Hari, 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 Hari. Did you tell them to stop? Hari, Hari, Hari. I am telling, did you tell them why you are not stopping? So even unknowingly, when one engages in the service of the Lord, we can see so much benefit one derives. So just thought this one. If something more to be added. Jagadishwar.
There is a sentence, Putana was neither a devotee nor a non-devotee. Actually, she is demoniac. Yes. So there is a difference between non-devotee and demoniac, that means. So is that non-devotee means one who follows demigod worship, and demoniac means atheist?
Sure. This is in yesterday's verse, right? Or in yesterday's verse? Okay. Regarding this, actually, there is an explanation which I was reading yesterday, so therefore I was trying to recollect. So the question is, this is yesterday's purport. So there it is mentioned, Putana was neither a devotee nor a non-devotee. She was actually a demoniac which instructed by Kamsa to kill Krishna. So what does it mean? Normally we say, Dvau Bhuta Sargau Lokeshmin Deva Asura Evacha. So there are only two kinds of people in this material world. One is Deva and Asura, those who are devotees and non-devotees. This is what normally we say. So here when this description is given, I was trying to refer, and then the description what was given, devotee means one who knows the Supreme Lord, he tries to follow the instructions and he serves him. Non-devotee means either he knows the Supreme Lord, all the instructions, and doesn't want to follow or criticize. Purposely he wants to criticize. But here the Putana is demoniac, means she was just sent by Kamsa. She was sent by Kamsa to perform certain activity, so she came. Her intention was to kill all the children. When she came, she wanted to kill all the children. It was not especially focused on Krishna. It was not hatred on Krishna. It was general. So just to follow the instruction of Kamsa, she came. She did not had any personal hatred. So, but again we can see, but the previous life she had personal hatred. Therefore she became a Putana, Rakshasi. That is there. But this is what the explanation I read yesterday. So that was interesting. And one more thing came to my mind. I forgot. So just one more thing what I wanted to mention. Here Putana was neither a devotee or a non-devotee is given. In the beginning of this chapter, if we see, when the description of Putana was given, a word called asadvi, this word was there. In one lecture we were discussing that. Putana was directly mentioned as she was a demon. She was not at all a sadhu. And in one of the lecture, our Anaga Prabhu was mentioning that Putana, how she got in previous life a benediction from Durvasa that she can change any form. So I was trying to look from where this reference is, because in Bhagavatam or from Prabhupada, even in Acharya's commentary, we don't see that. So I was trying to refer, and then finally it was there in Brahma Vaivartava Purana. Just this sentence was there that Durvasa in previous lifetime of Putana, he was pleased by her and gave her a benediction so that she can take any form. So this is given. So when I was reading the description, I was reading the entire chapter of Putana Leela. Completely different perspective of Putana Leela, what we see in Bhagavatam, was given there. Completely different perspective was there. There it is mentioned Putana was a sadhvi. She was a sadhu. She is a sadhu. That's how the story begins there. Here it was given she was a asadhvi. She is a asadhvi. She is a non-devotee. There it is mentioned she is a devotee. And there, because we know there are so many kalpa bedas, Lord's pastime eternally happens, and the entire story is also differently said in Brahma Vaivartava Purana. There it is mentioned that when the 8th child was born, Lord Krishna, he told Vasudeva to carry him, and then all the changes, everything happened. Till that everything was same. And after that it is mentioned, again Asariri came, Akashvani came, and told Kamsa that actually you don't know what happened, you are cheated. 8th child born to Vasudeva is not a girl, it is a boy. And Vasudeva, night time, he shifted that boy to Nanda Maharaj's house. So in Nanda Maharaj's house, that boy is there. That is Krishna. He is going to kill you. So you send so you, like that it is said. Then thereafter Kamsa, he calls Putana and he tells to Putana that you directly go to Nanda's house. There is this child, you go and kill him. So Brahma Vaivartava Purana gives description like that. And there the description of Putana, when the Putana description was given, there it is mentioned Putana is a sadhu. So just reading the thought of saying that. So how Lord's pastime, same killing of Putana, same mood of Putana, everything is same. But Lord also relishes in it by performing in so many different ways. We saw that, even for killing, if you want to face any enemy, generally what we do, we look at them nicely, we try to analyze them. Krishna, what he did, he simply closed his eyes. He said, I don't even want to open and see my enemy. I am that much powerful. So Krishna very easily did this pastime. So many details are given throughout all the pastimes. We can see so many explanations, so many churnings are done by Acharyas. Hare Krishna.